So in this video, I'm going to show you how to insert a text box for students to be able to answer questions on a slide. So I pre-made this slide here according to the chart, which planet has a period of rotation of 17 hours and 14 minutes. So the question's here on the slide, the chart that they have to access is here on the slide, but they currently don't have a place to answer the question. So we have two options. We can use the traditional text box by selecting it and drawing it in on the location that we want it. It currently doesn't show up as a box. You will have to change the border weight of it so that there is an actual visual line around the outside of it. The other option is that you can change the style of the border. So maybe you want it to be dots, maybe you want it to be a dash dot. You also have the ability to change the color of the border as well. So now I have this text box that has the outside dash dot, and I've changed the color to yellow. The other option that we have on a slide like this is where instead of using the traditional text box, you can actually insert any shape and the shape becomes a text box. So maybe for this one, I want them to answer their question in this cloud shape. So I would just draw the cloud. It gives me my current background as gray in color. To change the color of the text box, I come up here to the color fill, and maybe I want it to be like magenta. When the students are ready to answer the question, all they have to do is double click inside the text box and their cursor appears where they can type in the correct answer for the question as Uranus. This is an easy way for students to be able to see where they need to answer the question. And then when you go back into the slide presentation to find their answers, it's easy for you to find their answers and to give them feedback. On this next slide, I've inserted a diagram where the students have to label the parts of this insect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a traditional text box. I'm going to draw in my text box over the first line. I'm also going to change the border weight of my text box to like a 3 so that they can see where they have to actually answer the question. Instead of coming back up here and clicking the text box again and drawing a new text box in, I'm simply going to highlight the box so that it's got the blue around it, and I'm going to use the keyboard command Control-C and then Control-V to make a copy of the text box, and then I can just drag it to its new location. I find this trick to be a little bit easier for myself to manage instead of having to redraw on the text boxes each time. So now the students have the ability to come over, double click on the box, their cursor appears, and they can label the correct parts of the diagram. On this slide, I created number bonds for the students to complete. So I'm having them use the prompt to click on the green circle. So to create the green circle, I'm going to come up to the shape. I'm going to select the circle icon, and I'm just going to draw the circle over the top of the pre-existing circle. I'm going to change the color to the light green option. If I double click in here and I know that my answer is supposed to be 3, I might look at that and be like, oh, that's kind of small for the students. So I can highlight it and automatically change the font size. Maybe I want it to be 24, a little bit larger of a 3. So now that's a really good size. So all I have to do is remove the number 3 for the students. I'm going to hit on the outside of it. I'm going to hit Control-C and Control-V to copy that circle. I'm just going to pull a second one over here to complete my interactive chart for the students.